Hi folks, Peter Hill, Field Agronomist with Pioneer. Sorghum, part 3 in growth and development. This particular field was planted about 45, 50 days ago. Took a little while to emerge. But you know what? We're getting pretty close now to a very critical stage of growth in the life cycle. And that is in about 15 days, we're going to be pushing the head up and beginning to flower and then enter the reproductive phase. So we're excited about that because obviously that's what these plants are bred for. But we're also approaching a point where we want to minimize as much stress on this plant as possible. We also want to make sure we have as much of the nitrogen that we think we're going to need for the crop to also be in place. Obviously this crop doesn't get as tall as corn, and so we can still have the physical ability to get over, but we also want to be careful when we're cultivating that we're not pruning roots and things like that. So let's get a little bit closer to the plant now, see where the growing point is. But remember, 2 stages are pretty critical. At about 30 days after emergence, the head is starting to be formed and developed, or differentiated as they say in the literature. And then about 60 days, we enter reproductive mode. So 2 critical stages in the life cycle of the plant. We're past the 30. And again, I'll show you where the head is here in a second. But we're getting ready to enter, obviously, the most important phase of this plant's life. So let's get down and get a little bit closer look. So when we take one of these plants and we cut it in half very carefully, and you want to be exactly in the middle, and of course wear safety equipment, what you'll find then is that right here is your growing point. See that? So right here's your growing point, and then actually here's the head that's actually very well formed and defined at this point, okay? And what's really cool about this is if you're very careful, you can separate that, and you can actually see every branch on the head itself. And if you do it very carefully, don't get too aggressive with your knife, okay? Can you see the individual branches that are all there? So that's the panicle or the grain head. Again, that was all differentiated after about 30 days after emergence. It's really cool to see that. So in this particular plant then, you're about 7 inches above ground level where you find the head itself. And so in about 15 more days, this will continue to push all the way up, right past the flag leaf. It will start to exert, technical term, for pushing forward, thrusting outward, and then you'll be into the reproductive stages of the plant. So that's where it is. It's about 6-7 inches above soil surface level. And again, you can actually define and clearly see all the individual branches on the panicle. Okay? So again, very critical stage. Keep this plant healthy, without stress, and let's see what we can do to maintain the high yield potential. All right, hope you enjoyed. Thanks, folks.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.